Welcome to the Real Female Entrepreneurs. Today's guest proves that words could win awards and move worlds. A global recognized multi gold award winning author and poet, she transforms emotion into art and storytelling into legacy. I have chills, cannot wait to learn more. From international stages to radio and television features, her voice carries depth, culture, and undeniable brilliance. Elegant, powerful, and profoundly inspiring, she writes to awaken hearts across generations. Please help me welcome the amazing Rosalind Severin McClean. Welcome, Rosalind.
Thank you, Angel. Thank you for inviting me here to have this interview with you. I really appreciate this opportunity.
Yeah, I am excited to hear from you, and I would love to know what sparked you to start writing initially.
Initially, I'll tell you what, I have been writing since childhood. So I have been putting these words and emotions together on paper for a very long time. Uh, the During the pandemic, the fast forwarding, my daughter said to me, "Mommy, you've been writing all this stuff. You have everything all over. Why don't you put it in a book?" And this is what started me to get interested in putting my work in a book. I have been writing a lot of the poetry in different articles and putting them in newspaper, in different magazine, and on Facebook, and so then I kind of stopped, putting them out there and kept writing. So then I published the first book in 2020, and I've been going
Okay.
ever since.
Oh, wow. Wow. So you're having fun.
Well, yes, it's very inspiring for me too to be able to inspire others, to look within themselves. And this
Yeah.
is this is the message of Oceans of Thoughts.
What keeps you going writing the different books and everything?
That's life experiences, it's like writing an autobiography about your life. But instead of doing it for the novel style, like the norm, like everybody does it, I write through poetry. This is how it inspires. This is the inspiration I get, and how it channels through me to put out this work. It only comes through that source. Yeah.
So do you mind telling us about the books you've written? Do you mind telling us all about them?
Well, for sure, yes. I have written four books in the series so far. The first three books are inspirational poetry for young adults to seniors. The first book was inspired heavily by my sister, Yvonne. It's Oceans of Thoughts, Book One. I wrote about her when she passed. So a lot of the emotions around that time are written through poetry series in Book One. Because the Oceans of Thought, it's more about my life experiences that will resonate with your life experience. Because every human has about the same sort of experiences, just that we're in different areas of the globe. But the experiences that we all go through and experience are just about the same. Okay,
Yeah.
so Ocean of Thoughts will help, actually, is a way to inspire you and influence the reader to look to search within themselves, the inner self, the inner plate, and look within that, as a form trying to gain some inner peace of whatever experiences that we have had. So that's what inspired all my books, actually. There are different scenes, different themes in each book. This one talks on grief and the inspirational walk within the inner self and life and history. And then there's book two. There's book two that is targeting music, my music background. So I speak heavily about a band of all girl teenage band that we had put together as teenagers in Dominica. So book two, yes, book two goes into that aspect of historical movement of a musical decade.
Oh, that
Besides,
sounds like fun. Wait. That sounds like too much. So you were part of a band?
yes, I formed a band. I was the leader of an all girl band as a teenager, five teenage girls. We had this band that's back in the 70s, early 70s. We lasted for 7 years actually. And at
You
that
did?
time, yes, at that time, there were no other female bands on the island or in the region, and maybe in the world, because we never heard of any all girl female band on instruments. We were not singing group like other many other people are singing three on a stage. No, we would actually play the instruments.
What was your instrument you played?
Yes, I played the organ, or now they call it the keyboard, and the
Okay.
rhythm guitar. Because I'm a pianist. I have learned piano since I was about 7, 8 years old. So I took piano lessons all through teenage years till I was about 23. I was taking piano lessons. And so I wrote the chords for the band, for the music for the band, you know. And how we got the music, we heard the songs, we listened on the radio. Because back in the island, we had none of these cell phones and all these things they have today. We're talking about in the early 70s. So
Oh,
we
girl,
had
we didn't have that here either. We didn't have no cell
exactly.
phone either.
Right. So not having these things, we listen on the radio, we would call, we'd call the radio station and ask them to play a song. And usually just pop tunes, the pop tunes of the 60s and 70s. That's what we played. Like Venus and every, money, 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 and this kung fu fighting, and these are the type of songs we played, you know. And yeah, and then I would write the chords, we get together and we practice and on buck guitars on a table for drumming until we got instruments to play. And yes, we lasted 7 years actually. Playing in Dominica, and we have the whole histories in Oceans of Thoughts book too.
All
Yeah,
right. And what's book 3 about? What's book 3 about?
book three, it's a monumental inspiration. Talks about my dad a lot in book three, besides other forms of poetry. But it talks about the history of my dad and the legacy of my dad. And the area where we lived called Santa Roma in Goodwill in Dominica. So it talks a lot about that as well, So it's pretty thick. It's well researched, in fact, all of them. And yes, that's Oceans of Thoughts, book three. It talks about inspiring you, life-changing messages and chronicles of a monumental prominence. Yes, that's book three. You
And
know,
book 4?
book four is a gem, another gem.
Oh,
It's a
another
children's book.
gem.
It's a children's book that's really catching all eyes. Yes, very brilliantly illustrated by my illustrator is from Pakistan, I think. Yeah, I got him on Upwork. So it's a book on the little pianist because, of course, I'm writing Oceans of Thoughts about my life experiences. So I'm getting all the intuition, all these messages are coming from my experiences. So the little pianist is actually something. It's written about something that I've experienced watching, because we're talking about little, but I've seen it happening in my home so many times, as a child. 'Cause we had a piano, we had all those different things because as musicians, and it's talking about different cultures and how parents look at a child's intuition for music as a
Oh,
baby. A little 1 2 year old, whatever, you're trying, it gets very attracted to a large piano, and when she gets to this piano, she starts to hit on the notes, with dribble fingers and wet hands and everything, and hit on the notes. Where you see in the book, it says sees a mother, clapping and encouraging this child to play, you know. But in other homes and cultures, the mother or the adult may want to pull this child from the piano because of the wet fingers. So I speak about similar situations in here, and I go into the educational toys and different things to open and expand the imagination. I speak on nature. I'm very much into nature, and so this is sort of what's in book four. I also reference Harvard University to call the collaboration with music theory and
mhm.
mathematics, arithmetic.
Oh,
So I went into all of this because these are the things we learned at home as children growing up in piano and in music. So although it's the names are fictitious names, but the experience of what's happening with this baby really does happen.
It
Really
does.
does happen. Yeah, these things happen in homes.
Yeah,
Up
it
here,
comes to life.
was that?
The book comes to life, it sounds like.
Yes, yes, definitely. So it's really catching a lot of eyes,
Mhm.
with the series.
So, okay, so we had a band, okay?
The Mr.
Um,
Mentions band.
you
Yes.
had a band, all
Yes.
right? And now you're an author. What did you do in between, if you don't mind me asking?
In between, we're talking about culturally or academically, or well,
Uh,
actually, from the band, professionally,
professionally, career-wise, business,
career.
what did you do?
Well, I tell you what, when I left Dominica, I ended up coming to New York. And, well, I worked in Dominica too. I worked at the US, the Dominica Post Office. So I
Okay,
did begin, yes, the professional, career from home.
yeah,
I wasn't only playing music,
right.
or anything else. I had a profession career started in Dominica. And I came up to New York and I started modeling, going to modeling school, then going to business school
Look how
in
gorgeous you are. What do you expect, right?
yeah. And one of the what I really focused on when I came to this country was spreading the culture of Dominica. So I danced professionally the cultural dances of the island. I did that for about 45 years. You know,
Oh my word.
Yes, yes. I took West African dance classes, so I did attend the Jamaica Arts Center in Queens, where I did about almost 7 years of dance there. But the actual culture of Dominica, with the different dance like ballet and the different cultural dances that we do it for the cultural time in November at home and different functions. This is what I did. I trained some girls, whoever joined my group. I had a dance group, Rosa Dance in Ballet, and we performed extensively in New York and at different functions. We did that. I also taught, besides having my group, I also taught it different groups outside of my group. I had a group that I taught choreography of the ballet in Maryland State University. They asked me to come. A group of students asked me to come because they're having this cultural performance. So I had that. I also did St. Joseph College, another group down there in Brooklyn. So I did not only perform for the Dominican or the West Indian audiences. I performed internationally because with the
So, okay. Okay, everything now fits. Now I'm getting the full story because your books are a dance, and an intuitive dance of who you are and what culturalness you bring to all generations so they can
Yes,
understand life as a whole. Oh my god, I get it now. Thank you.
you're most welcome. Yes, because when I taught the cultural dance of the Dominica, I had children as well as adults. I had children as a little boy, a couple boys, as well as adults.
Mhm.
And even in for the modeling, I went back to Dominica and had a modeling school where I had young ones, children as well as adults and men doing
Yeah.
different performances and putting different shows. So I have been very versed in the arts, dance, and culture throughout life.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
modeling is just part of that because you have to have that
Yes,
balance and that finesse and that stance to be able to pull it all off. I mean, it's just what it is, right?
yes, well, yes, yes. It's all
Yeah.
it comes in a circle, and it's all part of the whole program of
So
the art
let's
and culture.
let's keep talking about this romantic little nature you have inside of you. We already picked it out. We have dance, we have modeling, we have poetry. So let's just keep up with that. What love letter would you write to your 18-year-old self? What would you tell her?
My 18-year-old self. This is very interesting. I was thinking of that earlier. Actually, I would write her and compliment her for the resilience and the inspiration that she carried, the vibrance. You know, she at 18, I was very vibrant in arts, dance, and culture. You know, going back to that, because that's just actually my forte, as they would say. You know, and I did a lot of hiking and swimming and all the other curricular activities. Did a lot of that. I was just at home with my parents. You know, we lived at home in the family, and so. But the letter I would write is a complimentary letter to her, you know, and thanking her because now at almost 71, I can take from her. Yes, I can look back and take some of from her, her bravery, her inspiration, her motivation, the way she did things, went about it and got it done. Whereas when you go or you're growing up and as life goes on, you sort of hesitate. You may have it together, you think you have it together, then you start thinking, and the whole 9 yards. Yes, as a young 18-year-old, you just go for it and you get it done. So these are things I could very well say, and sort of trying to educate that 18-year-old. I'm taking from her education. I'm
So
taking from herself.
you definitely want me to like become my 18-year-old self again and just have fun and just go do it and not think.
But we do it in more caution. You're more cautious now what we do because we think more. We think more, and as time life goes on, we know the bearings of life. But at 18, you're free spirited at 18. So this is what we need to be more free spirited, to be able to and we live lighter. That you go back into meditation and look within the self. Yes.
Yep. Wow. All right. So you're an author. I'm just going to tell you now, she's in business, guys. She's serious. She's good at what she does. She's an award winning author. Plus, so what is a game changer that you did to make a difference in being that fabulous author that you are?
A game changer, I would say. Well, I could very much say that I got more into meditation,
Hmm.
into looking deeper within the inner self and sorting it out through meditation. I think I could put it that way. That as a young person, you're free and easygoing and you jump around the place. But when you get older and you go through the queries of life and how life, the ups and downs of life, you realize that your own competition is yourself. So with that, you go deeper and you sink into meditation to try and get more grounded. And I think that may be the game changer, as you put it, of Oceans of Thoughts, because a lot of meditation on that series. It's not just I write from the sky. I'm writing through meditative space, through the silence. And I think that may be what I may answer this question with. Yeah.
I get it. All right. Being the entrepreneur you are and this the amazing author, what do you wish that people would just not think about? Like say, oh my God, that doesn't work anymore, and they could kick it to the curb.
Go for it. This is to me. I've heard this. I've had many other sessions and many questions around this, and I don't know what a lot of us, because human nature on the whole, we tend to want to listen to other people and take their advice, or not only take their advice, but we're competing with something that we should not compete with,
Mm,
because human nature and I guess the modern day, or want academic world is a competition,
mm, yeah.
and even for that too, life living becomes a competition because
Yep.
everyone wants a bigger house, and this one has that, I don't have this, blah blah blah, and they go through this turmoil because of competition.
Hmm.
Something that I have learned and I grew up with: you are your own competition. You go to school,
Boom.
you do your best, You do your own best.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has their own best,
Yep.
but you do your own best and be
Yep.
satisfied with your own best. Now, if you want to fool around and go the other way when you know you're not supposed to, and that will not help you, and no matter what advice you get and everything else, that's on you. But
Mm.
when you are trying to be, I say, on the right track or do what's right, don't listen to the voices out there. Listen to your inner voice. Listen to
Mhm.
your inner self and be your own best. If I had listened to the naysayers and all those who put me down,
Ooh.
I would not have oceans of thoughts today.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Oh my God, the naysayers.
Yes,
Thank you for bringing that up because that does happen. The
it does.
naysayers get in there and oh my God, it's just crazy.
It destroys everything. You have to
All
have a
right.
very strong mindset to try to pull it off, the best way you can, you know? Yeah.
So you've been a business owner for a very long time. You owned a lot. You modeling agency, dancing, publishing now. How did you balance it all between family, life, and whatnot? How did you balance it?
Everything has a time, I would say time, managing your time. That's the balance because the different things I did, modeling and different things, everything at different times of life. Although I will still model if I had the opportunity. And as for dancing, I dance all the time. So you will find the time to do it if it is supposed to be done. It's more about managing the time and having the positive mindset.
So being in business for a while,
Mhm.
what would you tell a woman who's sitting there going, "Okay, I'm just can't go anymore. I wanna throw in the towel." What would you tell her?
I would tell her to go in the silence, sit
Mm.
still, and listen for the inner voice. There's a saying that goes, sit still and know that I am God. Most people, it goes in all religions, all spiritual life. It's the same saying. They may call God a different name, but it's the same
Mhm.
thing, you
Same
know.
thing.
Yeah. So you listen to your inner self first, but you get in the silence, get into some form of meditation. If you're not motivated, do some exercise, go walking, take a dance class, do Zumba. That's an easy thing, get something, play music, keep your mind busy and
Yeah.
get in the silence.
Yeah, I'm a Zumba freak. I
Yes,
actually used
me
to own a
too.
dance in school too, just so
Yes,
you know.
yes, me too. I do Zumba on Saturdays. I try
Yeah,
to keep
I love
busy.
Zumba. Yeah,
Yes.
it
So
does.
yeah, I think that's one of the things I would tell this person, whoever the people are, you know, stop trying to compete and compare with other people. That's
Mhm.
something that we were brainwashed to do as children growing up in schools and everywhere around the world.
Yeah.
We are all brainwashed to listen and to try to be like the next person and do what they're doing and not satisfied with what we are or who we are. You know,
Mhm.
we are our own competition. As long as we can understand that we are our own competition, so we'll do the best that we can. Because you find parents as well, they push the child or children to be like this other person. And that is where the confusion lies because that child may not be like that other person
Mhm.
because the child don't have the capability of doing that. She has her own capability of being her own self. This is what we have to push, not somebody else. I went through this. I went through this, and I know what I'm. I have the experience of that. That's why I say if I were to listen to these voices, I would not have oceans of thoughts today.
Mm.
I would not be a dance teacher. I would not be in the band because it was always a competition, comparing this,
Yeah.
comparing it, because that's human nature.
Yeah.
They want, but we have to learn. We have to be self-sufficient enough to keep our mind focused to try to realize that we're in competition.
Yep. I get asked all the time,
Yeah.
"Angel, you compete with so many people." I'm like, "No, I don't. I compete with them myself."
Within yourself, right? Yes,
within myself. And I've always done that.
yes.
So, yeah.
And
All right.
all the answers you need come is there. When you stay in
Mhm.
that silence, you want whatever it is, and you focus, you get all the answers.
Yep.
You
You
know,
do.
but it's up to us to know to listen to it or not.
Yep. All right. Let's pull back a curtain. Hmm. What do we have? And are we having a fifth book? What's happening?
Well, well, yes. You know, Oceans of Thoughts continues. Oceans of Thoughts continues. That's what is thoughts. You know, oceans of the mind. You know, the stream, the frequencies. It doesn't stop. You
I
know,
love it.
so yeah, and it's a continuous process of doing different presentations and in writing. And it's coming on. It's going to
It's
be there.
coming
I don't
along,
know exactly when, but I
but it's
know
coming.
it's coming. Yeah, it's coming. I'm doing. I'm my own best. I am my
All right.
own best. Yes.
Something fun. Okay. This is it. We're going away fun. Okay. So, something unexpected that our audience is going to go, oh my God, Rosalind did what?
Rosalind did what? Is that something I did in the past or something I did presently?
Whatever it is, just something unexpected. Maybe you've done that we would go, oh my God.
Yes. Well, I could say I climb mountains. I have
No,
climbed.
really.
I sure have. I did a lot of mountain climbing when I was younger in Dominica, and that's an experience. I'm glad I did. I had the opportunity to be able to climb up those mountains at home. You
Wow.
know, yes. And
Yeah.
when you get on top there, you're able to see the whole island and maybe another island across the seas. But that's something out of the ordinary that I was
That
able to
is.
do. Yeah.
That is. All
Yeah.
right. A song that you absolutely love.
I will go for Bob Marley, and Marley speaks on one love. And as a matter of fact, in Oceans of Thoughts, Book 4, The Little Pianist, I refer to that particular song towards the end of the book, One Love from Bob Marley.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah, very
Bob
powerful.
Marley's awesome.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
He
thank
has
you.
great music. All right. We talked about your books. What about a quote that you absolutely love?
A quote I absolutely love. I think I may have mentioned something from the Proverbs. I love the Proverbs. I always say, know your Proverbs. You got to know your Proverbs in the book. I just dropped. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I drop stuff all the time. It's all
Oh,
right.
yeah. A quote I absolutely love from the Proverbs. I would say, apply thy heart unto instruction and thy ears to the words of knowledge.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
proverb what?
That's Proverb 23, verse 12.
Wow.
Yes, I always look at the Proverbs. I
The
think
proverbs are an instruction manual all on its own
on its
for
own.
anyone who wants to listen. Am I right?
That's right. You know, if you listen to the Proverbs, you read the Proverbs, it'll teach you how to live. Although we don't always do that, you know, although we get the instructions. Another thing I gathered from this, they say, be open to knowledge. Be
Mm.
open to the ears to listen for knowledge. A lot of people, a lot of human beings, they always know. And if you know too much, you close that door, you close that window or that avenue to listen or to accept knowledge. Proverbs tell you to listen with your ears to accept knowledge.
You
So
know
this,
what?
yeah,
Yeah. So I'm just going to bring this up because being a dancer, you understand creating choreography. All right. It's all about listening to that music and feeling that music and being able to be open to what that next step is.
yes, yes,
It,
it's yes, the freedom. I call it the freedom. This freedom spirit is a freedom spirit. Dance spirit is a freedom spirit. You
Mhm.
know, it takes you there. You
Yeah.
are with me, and I dance. I'm in a whole different plateau. I'm a whole different species. I get
And
out
it
there, and it just goes with me, you know. And then I transform this. I translate this to teaching, you know, my students, whoever they are. You know, it's. they're able to, I don't know, the choreography always stands out.
I just love how it relates to what you just said about listening.
Yes,
If you just listen in both areas, instruction in life and in a choreography and dance, when you're creating and developing it,
yes.
life just flows so much easier.
It sure does. It's a step, and the big
Mhm.
guide, the books, the books of the land. And I say books of the land. I don't want to just be stuck on Bible and Christianity. You have the Upanishads, you have the Lotus Sutra's, you have all these other books of the land. You tell you the same thing in different way. They have a different terminology, but it's the same translation. You know.
Same thing. Yep.
Yes, same thing.
All right. A little bit funner. Uh, if you had a superpower for just 24 hours, what would it be?
20 hours, 24 hours superpower to meditate. Superpower
Meditate.
meditation, yes. I
Wow.
think that's where I would take all superpowers, to sit in the silence and meditate.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. That is
Gain some
amazing.
more intuition and gain some more of what the meditation is trying to teach me or to tell me, against the wall of the
Mhm.
silence. Because it's so powerful when you can sit in the silence. You're
Yeah.
untouchable when you can sit in the silence. I mean, anything can happen. Life is life, but for that moment, you transcending and you translating in all this into the silence. This is the inner self. This is the inner spirit, and this is the inner self of oceans of thoughts. You know.
Wow. All right. What about motivation? Do you believe in it? And if you do, what do you do to get it?
Let's go to Zumba. Yeah, motivation. There's so much you could do, so much a person can do to be motivated. Put everything down. Sometimes just put it down and let's just go to take a walk. I walk a lot. The sun, you see that sun out there? That's like the biggest motivation for me. Because once the sun is out, I want to walk in it. I want to feel it. I want to feel the heat of the sun, for whether it's a second or 2 seconds or 1 hour, 2 hours. But that's a motivation by itself. Because I always say, without the sun, we can't live. We need the sun. So that's one of the ways. It's easy. It's free. Nature is free. Nature doesn't charge you anything to enjoy it and to be motivated, to be inspired by nature. There's no charge to watch the trees and watch the flowers, even the stones, the sand, the wind, the sun out there, the wind blows. It's free of charge. So the greatest motivation, I would think, is nature. Get involved in and embrace nature. And then after you embrace nature, you want to dance. So you find yourself in some dance class, some music, you move to it. You don't need a dance instruction. You can just hear the music and snap to it. You go to Zumba, there are many other forms of exercises you can do, you know, that you can
Mhm.
attend. But one of the greatest things is nature. I think that's the greatest gift and inspiration or motivation that the Lord has put on for us human beings to enjoy. I think that's the greatest.
I
Yeah.
just wish people could see life through your eyes. The way you talk about it, it just makes you come alive. I mean, I come alive listening to you.
Oh my word. Well, thank you.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh my god, I just want that." Okay. So what is the best way for our audience to stay connected with you?
Well, they can go to my website, oceansofthoughts.com, and my links are there. They can get on my links for the Facebook, Instagram, and social media on my website. So I think that's one of the best ways to reach me or to see Oceans of Thoughts is
Mhm.
oceansofthoughts.com.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. What would you like to leave our audience with, Miss Rosalind?
I would like to leave the audience with one thing in mind. Look within yourself. Be more kind to others. Watch your words. I got to say the same for me too because I'm a human being. So when I speak, I'm speaking always including myself because no one is perfect. We all have our flaws and we all fall by the wayside. No matter how much we teach or whatever it is, as human beings, we fall by the wayside. But what I would like to leave with whoever is listening, be open to knowledge and look within the inner self. Be more kind to others. Watch your words. I speak about that in book 2, about the silent bully, Oceans of Thoughts, book 2, the one at the band. I speak about that too in there. Because everyone has a trait of the silent bully within them. We try to say, no, you're not. And yes, we do. Everyone, every human being, man and woman, has a trait of that bully within them. We contain it. Sometimes we let it out and we get angry, whatever it is. But if we watch our words, I got to say same for me because, you know, and be more kind to others. I think that's it brings peace. In Oceans of Thoughts, want you to look within yourself to find some inner peace. So that's what I would leave with everyone. It's a known fact that we're all silent bullies in our life as human beings. There's no exempt in that. So we have to curb ourselves and try to live more peaceful within our families, within ourselves. Oceans of Thoughts book 2 talk very deeply about that. And I refer to the Proverbs in that particular section for book 2. Yes, the Proverbs is very heavy in Oceans of Thoughts book 2. Yes.
I love it. All right. You guys, Ocean of Thought, cannot wait to get it. Thank you, Miss Rosalind.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting me, having me here. Bye. Thanks a lot. And we'll talk again very soon. Okay, then. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Female Entrepreneurs Magazine. I hope you found inspiration, actionable tips, and a sense of connection with our incredible community of driven women. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a review, and share the episode with fellow entrepreneurs who are ready to elevate their game. Remember, your success is just the beginning, and we're here to support you in every step of the way. Until next time, keep shining, keep thriving, and remember, you have the power to create the business and life of your dreams. Stay inspired, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.